Final season in which we say we've got football from Oakland, California. Today, it's a matchup in the AFC West between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Oakland Raiders. This fielded at the 2. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. The leader of this Chiefs offense, Patrick Mahomes, he was good in Week 1, picking up right where he left off in 2018. That first quarter, Charles, he threw for over 200 yards.
Yeah, he was the MVP in 2018, wasn't he? Plans to be the MVP in 2019 with that type of a start. And against a team, Jacksonville, that last year was the only team to hold him without a touchdown pass in games played. Well, he threw 3 in this one, 378 yards total through the air. About the only downside for him, he actually tried one of those no-look passes. I can't remember, was it left-handed or not, that he tried to hit Travis Kelce and threw it over his head? And after the game, he told Travis, "I owe you one, my bad."
The numbers last week for Shady McCoy. 10 carries, 81 yards.
That's a good start to the season. They got the win, and they were able to establish a good running game. Nothing that just blew people away, but a nice solid base to get things started, and they expect that to get tuned up and get better as the season moves on.
Mahomes going to pull it out and keep it himself. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 44-yard line.
And let's face it, that what we just saw there, not a surprise, is it? I mean, this is what he does well. And if you don't tackle him as soon as he catches the ball, this is the end result. Big yardage afterwards.
Got the speed, the agility, so good with run after catch. And we're only in the first quarter, so they better get a wrangle and a hold on that quickly.
Yeah, you're exactly right. What's really difficult to try and defend him is if you want to press him so that you get him on the ground quickly after the catch, a lot of times he'll just run past you at the initial point of contact, and he'll go deep.
McCoy got off to a good start in Week 1, Charles. 10 carries, 81 yards. He had a really nice 31-yard carry. Showed a lot of burst.
A lot of people thought he'd be more of a pass catcher in Kansas City, and that will still develop because he does that very well. But as you mentioned, he's still got a burst, doesn't he? He can still run the football. 10 carries, 81 yards. He might go into a timeshare with Damian Williams running the football, and that'll just make the Chiefs that much tougher. But he still has it. The guy they call Shady, he's excited about this challenge in Kansas City and thinks that he can help them get to the Super Bowl.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. They'll try and run for it with McCoy. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. The defense stiffens to force 4th down following that first down gain of 8.
Another scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And this one is no good. He missed it. But hold everything. Did they rough the kicker here? Looked like they might have. Let's see. So forget the field goal. Give them the first on that penalty.
How about that? That's one way to pick it up, but that's doing it the hard way. But they'll accept it.
So how big might the special teams mistake be there? Running into the kicker, and that penalty leads to 1st and 10. After the penalty, it's McCoy. And he gets stopped up at the 31 after a gain of maybe a yard. Quickly now, the starting 11 for the Oakland defense.
Let's talk about Vontaze Burfict, the versatile linebacker. You can play him inside, you can play him outside. Undrafted coming out of college, and that still fuels him. Gives him that huge chip on his shoulder. And when he's right and plays at his best, one of the best linebackers in the league. Just has to know where the line is so he doesn't go past it and cost his team some penalties.
Now a draw play. This is McCoy. Vontaze Burfict, the one to get him down.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments and doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
Here comes the 7th play of this opening drive. They've moved it well, but here's 3rd down. Mahomes now to throw. He is going to find Hill here. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And he's already got 2 catches on the opening drive. They know he's going to be a handful.
And sometimes you game plan for that offensively. You want to make sure that guy touches the ball, and sometimes it just happens naturally. And then you change your game plan. When he has the hot hand, you keep going back to him because he's running routes with confidence as the game goes on.
Yellow, 180. Got you.
Working from the gun, Mahomes. He's got it. Touchdown, Chiefs. Demarcus Robinson, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the fourth quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
And it becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. Derek Carr is set and ready to roll as he leads the Raiders out onto the field. Carr in his 6th season, 28 years of age, former second-round pick back in 2014, and a lot of people feel this is a critical season for Derek Carr as a Raider. Remember, there were whispers that the Raiders might be in the market for a QB in the draft, even contemplated maybe making a run at Kyler Murray, but in the end, they stood pat with Derek Carr, hoping that he's the long-term answer. Here's Carr, and nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's second down. Now Carr brings him up 2nd and 10. Throwing again. Carr. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. The Red Sea parts, and there he goes. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Tyrell Williams, 79 yards, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And we are tied at 7. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Kansas City 1-0 as they take the field here. They beat Jacksonville week 1, 40-26. Sammy Watkins was really the headliner. He had 2 touchdowns in the first quarter, 3 total. He was explosive.
198 receiving yards. Both of those were career highs, and that's what people expected when he was drafted so high when he went to Buffalo. Now we're seeing it, and it comes at a great time for Kansas City because Tyreek Hill got hurt in this game. Clavicle, sternum trauma, they call it. He'll miss a few weeks. But the beauty is, if Sammy Watkins plays to that level, don't forget they also have a tight end by the name of Travis Kelce. So they have a chance to be okay until Tyreek Hill gets healthy.
2nd and 10 now from the 27. To throw, it's Mahomes. He'll set up the screen to McCoy. He finds an opening past the 40 as he'll get this one up to the 44-yard line. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
And out on the right side. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A well-executed 22-yard gain. Kelsey, such a valuable part of this offense. Made the Pro Bowl the last 4 seasons. 2018 being the most productive when he went over 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, and a great relationship between he and Pat Mahomes off the field. Very good friends, attended a bunch of high-profile sporting events together in the offseason, and that chemistry, it certainly shows on the field. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Mahomes to throw once more. And he's got his receiver. That's Sammy Watkins. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now Mahomes on the bootleg. This for his running back, McCoy. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. Mahomes now on 1st down. This will be caught just inside the 10. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. The Chiefs have got the passing game rolling a bit, and another 1st down. Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. That's complete right around the 8. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people...
This is caught by Hill for a Chiefs touchdown. Tyreek Hill, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Chiefs have taken the lead. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll get to the 30-yard line before going out of bounds. Derek Carr and the Raiders set for their next possession. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but bottom line, his team's losing. They got to fix something.
And it starts with him. He has to keep that little quarterback strut going right now to make sure that his team sees him as confident. Continue to try and up his game, but just let him know, hey, if I'm around, if I'm the one calling signals and throwing the football, just follow me, we'll get there. Sometimes that will do more to elevate a team than anything else.
See if he has that confidence. Now the pass to Grant, and he's got it. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Get ready. Get ready. Watch the screen.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. He'll find his running back here, Richard. Call it a pickup of 7, and that'll make it 2nd down.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
He's got a 1st down and more inside the 30. And shutting him off, now open field. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Derek Carrier, his first touchdown here of the new campaign, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what he just did.
Yeah, play here for a touchdown. Extra point by Carson, up and good. And we've got a tie game here, a back-and-forth first half. Just a 4-play drive that time. And it ends with an Oakland touchdown. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Chiefs offense about set to begin this drive. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Now here's Mahomes. The tight end Kelsey has it over the middle. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. And the Raiders have got him. Maurice Hurst able to drop him for a loss of 4 from his defensive tackle spot.
So this has been a lot like a tennis match, hasn't it? Back and forth. Both these offenses having their way so far. So maybe the question isn't who's going to score the most points in this game. Maybe it's who's going to get some stops.
Yeah, absolutely. And that sack, finally a first step in the right direction for a stop. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Another try after the first down sack. Mahomes caught. Kelsey left side. Second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in his second week of the regular season. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively, and it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. 3rd and long there, wide draw play.
Well, they were hoping to catch the defense just pinning their ears back and coming for the quarterback in a passing situation. Guys get real excited to try and get a sack. You're hoping they'll bypass the runner, and off he goes. But in this case, they actually played the run on their way back to the quarterback.
A good kick, 48 yards, 4 on the return. And the Raider drive will start from deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. Oakland Raiders offense coming back onto the field here, and last week kicked off their final season in Oakland with a victory against Denver. And after all that Antonio Brown noise, good of them to rally and start off 1-0.
Fantastic of them to rally and start off 1-0. And as you mentioned, their last season in Oakland before moving to Las Vegas. It is the NFL's 100th year of football. And it's the Raiders' 60th year as a franchise. So a lot of milestones. The biggest one being John Gruden's team comes out in week 1 with a victory. Knock on wood if you're with me. Knock on wood.
And then now they get Kansas City at home. A tough start to the schedule. Field right around the 40-yard line. A first down there on a pickup of 25. Second year in Oakland for Walter after being signed off the Ravens practice squad, but only 6 catches, 75 yards a season ago. Then he got a lot of hype in the offseason following OTAs. Their offensive coordinator saying, you know, Darren, you have that position. Coach Gruden went as far as to say, Darren, you have the chance of a lifetime here. So now it's time for Darren Waller to go out there and prove it. Now a play fake here on first down. Caught left side, Williams. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That's back-to-back plays of over 20 yards. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the left hash, this from 53 yards out. And that is no good. Oh, he missed it just wide of the upright. So we've hit halftime all even at 14 apiece. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
Okay, Brandon, we'll get you back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, it's time for a trip around the NFL following an eventful opening weekend. Let's see what's happening in Week 2. We'll get started in the Mile High City. Chicago in town to take on Denver. And in the second quarter, it's the Bears who are out in front. Tariq Cohen, the lone...
And just like that, on we head to half number 2. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Tyrell Williams heading back out onto the field now. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
On the ground, Jacobs will get the third quarter started. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Just like that, a pickup of 20 on their first play from scrimmage.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Carr gives to Rashard. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
To throw on 2nd and 6, Carr. And he almost intercepted it. They haven't picked a ball off yet. That probably should have been their first. And it's 3rd down now. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Now Carr able to find Walter. That's complete. And he'll be brought down with the first down and a late flag here too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure. So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
And now it's 1st and 10. A big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. Carr going to give it to Jacobs. Able to spin free. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Carr.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting. And even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? Zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Last season for Carlson, bit of a strange rookie year. Won the Vikings job, then was let go week 2 after going 0 for 3, but he picked things back up.
Remember, he was drafted to cure their kicking woes, and he ends up going 0 for 3 against Green Bay, including the potential game winner. Gets cut.
Now a hit and a loose football. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. Touchdown, Raiders.
I'm glad we were paying attention during the rules seminar because we learned the only time you can't advance a fumble like that is in the last 2 minutes of either half.
Right. Other than that, if that ball's out, whether forward or backwards, it's live and free for anybody.
No doubt about it. When you say free, that means he's got free reign to pick it up and go. And that's exactly what happened there. Took it in for a touchdown.
Carlson on for the PAT. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This fielded at the 2. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. So here are the Chiefs to take over. They've got the lead here as they start out 1st and 10, trying to erase the memory of the loss last week. That came at the hands of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with McCoy. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Don't be mad. Don't be mad. It's more coming. It's more coming.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. From midfield, here's Mahomes. Throw right side, complete to Williams. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 39.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. Complete, the tight end Kelsey. Same exact result as last play, a pickup of 11.
Let's go.
5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. It used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so.
Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked up by Gary and Conley. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, normally you and I would have gone through our season predictions before week 1, but Hurricane Dorian prevented us from doing that last week. So let's go ahead and hear them, your division winners and then the Super Bowl.
Okay, let's start in the AFC. New England in the East.
Bold.
Tennessee in the South. Pittsburgh in the North. And Kansas City out west.
Okay, so I'm with you on 3 of the 4, but I'm going to go with a way too strong week 1 reaction and give Baltimore the edge in the North.
Oh, I like that
Okay.
one. All right, let's go NFC.
All right.
I'm going Philadelphia in the East, New Orleans in the South, Minnesota in the North, and the Los Angeles Rams out west.
Okay, so I got 2 different ones. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Jalen Richard, 84 yards. And the Raiders able to extend that advantage. And with his speed, if he just finds the slightest crease, he can take it the distance like he did there.
How about the leverage up front? Offensive line out leveraging the defensive front to create that space, that crease that he was looking for. And once he hits open field, he's going to be very difficult to catch and corral.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Those are the ones the offensive coordinators dream about. One-play drives from that distance. What an effort. It results in the touchdown. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. reminder, coming up later tonight, Sunday Night Football, a good one from Atlanta. Eagles and Falcons, 8:20 Eastern. And then tomorrow on Monday Night Football, Odell Beckham back in New York, back in MetLife Stadium. Browns and Jets, 8:15 Eastern on Monday night. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. To the right side, it's Kelsey. 17 yards on the play as they try to eat into this 17-point deficit.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. On play action, it's Mahomes. Throw left side, taken in by Hill. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 4 yards on the dump off at 2nd down. They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the 3rd quarter has come to a close. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Mahomes now on 1st down. Man open left side. It's Williams. No gain on the play there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Throwing again on 2nd down. Mahomes. It's caught on the right side. Williams. They'll wind up losing 3, and now it's 3rd down.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. And this is caught. I think he got that with one hand. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down. Their already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down.
It's got to the point when we see guys like that make that type of a catch. Not fair.
And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Gary and Conley. Watkins, the intended receiver.
Well, you're trailing. It's the 4th quarter, and you've got to throw the football. But the defense knows this, too. So they're just going to sit back, bring in an extra defensive back or two, the old nickel or dime strategy, Brandon, and wait for you to put that bad boy up for grabs. And this one winds up being intercepted.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
That'll wind up going for a loss of 4. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Kendall Fuller in on the stop. 24th pick in the spring by Oakland was Josh Jacobs. Only rushed for 640 yards last year at Alabama, but when you consider the offensive depth chart they had, it makes it understandable. So young, won't turn 22 until February, and they're really hoping that the veteran presence of 30-year-old Doug Martin can be a guiding light for Jacobs. 63 yards receiving for him now. That last catch good enough for a first down. And looking to put this game on ice in the 4th quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out. Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
On 2nd and 9, Carr, and he almost intercepted it. They haven't picked a ball off yet. That probably should have been their first, and it's 3rd down now. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave them trying to convert on 3rd and 9. They go with a shuffle pass, and it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. They've got another first down. The Raider passing game clicking on all cylinders right now. And defensively, they just don't seem to have much of an answer for this passing game.
Not at all. Look at the confidence that's exhibited here. With that type of a lead, clock on their side, instead of running it, they're still throwing it, trying to pick up first downs and keeping the football.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Back to the running game with Jacobs. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. No gain on the play. Brings up 2nd and 10. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. Refusing to go down. And he gets this only to the 44-yard line. Not near enough to keep the drive alive. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Here's the Raiders punter now, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And did they keep it in? They did. They kept it in. It's down to close to the goal line at the 1-yard line.
You rarely call your punter a weapon, but he certainly was there. How about that? Pinning him down at the 1-yard line and helping out the defense in a big way. I'm telling you what, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I might be thinking safety right now.
And now here comes Kansas City. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know what, a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And they're going to get this all the way out past the 20. Mahomes now to throw.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. The Chiefs now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. Looking to throw is Mahomes. On target over the middle to Hill. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. So 2nd and inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. And again, it's Mahomes. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. The Chiefs quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. Throwing now is Mahomes. His throw caught right around the 6. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Tyreek Hill, his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Chiefs are able to cut into this lead. Extra point right down the middle, and that will get them one closer. That time a 6-play drive. So time definitely not in their favor. Down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings him up 2nd and 10. The Raiders on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Well, I know at points in this when you wanted to close your eyes because of all the points that were being put on the scoreboard. You're a defensive guy, but it was a fun little track meet, wasn't it?
It was, and you know the people really enjoyed this game? They're the ones that like going to batting practice at the Major League Baseball parks, right? Seeing the 14-11 game, that sort of deal. That's right up their alley with what we saw in this one.
So for Oakland, they used a favorable early schedule to their advantage as they move to 2-0.